We're living in a time when we have rising housing costs, inflation, childcare expenses are huge, healthcare concerns, and the fear of starting over later in life because there's a whole new thing of gray divorce. I know Dina and I have done a podcast on that as well, where people divorce in midlife, and a lot of women that Dina and I have observed have gone through financial abuse for decades. And so here they're starting over because they can't handle one more day. Now they're alone with this person. They had a hard time raising kids with them. Now being alone with them is just too much. And so starting over is huge at our age. There, because of lack of awareness of where the finances are going or not having the safety net that you need, we're trapped because of practical realities of life and all these rising costs. And then not only that, it's about that shame that comes with that. How do you tell your even adult children, I don't have money for that because I'm flat out broke? I mean, this is the time of our life that should be our most, I don't want to say wealthy, but we have our largest income coming in at this stage because we're not paying for childcare. We're not paying for all the overhead of all the needs of our children. And we're probably the top, those of us that have worked, probably the top of the tier in our careers. Not all, obviously. If you're someone that was staying home and taking care of the home and family, which is a beautiful career, but what do you do when you're at this point of realizing you've been living in financial abuse for all those years?
That's a really tough place to be. And I know on our Grey Divorce podcast, we talked a lot about getting divorced in midlife and how difficult that is and how different it is from getting divorced when you're young. And some good differences, some not so good differences. And I think the top issues when you're middle age is, do you get any retirement? Are you now behind the eight ball? Because Lizzie and I both ended up with nothing.
Mhm.
And I no retirement, no savings, no nothing, walked out and a wing and a prayer kind of thing. So it's got its own challenges, but I do want to say I don't want this to come across as just completely negative. I want you to know out there that if you are having to separate or divorce from this person who has been incredibly toxic to you, you have to know that the cost of staying emotionally, physically, your health, your children, your future, their future of who they're going to choose and their financial well being, all of that is still worth doing the right thing, not having to face all that and to manifest that in your life any longer. There's a different cost. It's a different cost than money. It is now emotional, spiritual, physical. And it is, if you are in an abusive relationship, it will take from you. It will take from you to the point where you will feel like you don't even have enough strength and personal self wellness to make money. So I have seen a really amazing trend. And this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to give a lot of hope out there that if you have to leave that toxic relationship, the trend that I've seen, and I know Lizzie, you've seen this too, is when women get out and they're free, all of a sudden, once they start their healing process, which you have to do, don't just get out and just try to just push it away and keep going. You need to go through some healing. But once they get out and start having that healing process and finding who they are again and finding their unique strengths and gifts, because a lot of times you just don't even know you have them. You're just trying to survive. You're just trying to be okay and take care of your children. And you don't even know what you got in there, which is amazing. Amazing what you have in there, those gifts and talents that you never even realized. And when you find those, and you'll see this time and time again when you start hearing stories of women who have left suffocating and debilitating relationships, that they start to make money. They start to soar. They start to have, it's almost like when you have that personal freedom and when you have that personal release and that sense of self and strength and empowerment on the inside, it really does manifest on the outside and it works. So don't be afraid. Even if it's midlife and you are left with nothing, you will be okay. You will make it. It may be a struggle. It may be tough. There may be some years where it's just hand to mouth for a little while, but work on growing on the inside. Let the finances start to come when they do. Do what you can financially to get where you need to go, but really focus on that inner growth. Really focus on finding you, the beautiful, beautiful you that should have been nurtured and loved and taken care of. As you grow on the inside, you'll be amazed at what happens in your environment.